Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my LinkedIn Live. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them support their family wellbeing challenges. As you know, every week I interview different experts, and today I am super excited to be interviewing Dr. Anamika. Hi, Doctor. Thank you so much for coming today. How are you?
First of all, Jasmine, thank you for inviting me. I'm very well and very excited for this conversation because this is Men's Mental Health Month. And I'm super, super excited to get an opportunity to reach out to that particular,
Amazing.
population and say, hello, I'm here. If you need any help, please reach out.
Amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So I'm a clinical psychologist and I work with Open Minds as well as Kiani. These are two very well-established medical. I'm here if you need any. Sorry, I heard somebody say something.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, because it was Instagram. Carry on.
All right. As you know, I'm a clinical psychologist. I work with Open Minds at Bersha branch as well as Silicon Oasis branch. And I also work with Kiani. And I'm proud founder of an organization called Anawell, where we focus specifically on executive coaching and corporate well-being.
Wow, it sounds like you're extremely busy doing amazing things.
I love what I'm doing.
I'm so excited about this topic because I've had so many comments and questions about this already. I think it's such a hot topic. So you chose Silent Burnout, the hidden cost of men's mental health at work. Can you tell us what that means and why you chose that topic for today?
Silent because men are silent about their mental health, and I'm not making this up. The data shows us that 56% of men in UAE seek help only after 1 week of persistent low mood, or more than half deny or avoid support of any kind. And this was in College Times recently as well, where we spoke about men's mental health. Now, this becomes even more significant considering UAE has slightly higher rate of mental illnesses. It's 14%, whereas the global rate is 13%. So yes, men are a bit silent about it. Now, this becomes even more acute because 1 in 5 men experience anxiety or depression sometime in their life, whereas only 40% of that population is actually receiving treatment.
Wow.
Need to add a little bit more. 60% of working men say that job stress is damaging their home life, not their work life, home life, right? So a lot of these stresses at work are actually contributing to work-life disturbance as well as home life stresses. And now this is even more important for us to hear. Only 45% of men believe that their emotional struggles should be handled through a clinical setting or a mental health professional. So you can do the math, right? Men have a problem, but they're being silent about it. Is there a cost? Yes, there's a cost. The cost in their personal life, cost in their integrated identity, cost in the way their family life is, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Wow. No, I mean, yeah, I think it's such an important topic, and I'm really glad that you've, chosen this today, because I think we can't talk about this enough, actually. And I think it all starts with a conversation, doesn't it? But what made you, I know the facts speak for themselves, but what made you really interested in this topic?
By virtue of my work, so I've been an educator for a lot of years in my life. I was at a program at one of the federal government universities, had a lot of male colleagues, students. Plus, in my clinical work, I would see men coming to me only when they have almost collapsed.
Oh, really?
When they are in the extreme of burnout. And oftentimes they would say that this is because of the societal pressure, the masculine idols of strength, control, self-reliance, be strong, be a man, chin it up, don't cry like a girl, men don't cry, etc., etc., etc. So I felt that unless we begin to normalize this kind of conversation and bring this issue to the mainstream and say, listen, there is a problem, let's do something about it, nothing will move. So I can tell you so many stories of so-called really successful men for the society. Their job thinks they're doing wonderful. Their family thinks they're doing great. But when they come to the clinic, they are actually experiencing high level of stress, depression, anxiety, burnout, decision fatigue, right? And so there is a problem. I get to see it because I am, in that kind of profession where people will reach out to me when they're
Yes,
in.
yes, yes.
But the society doesn't see that.
Mm.
For the rest of the world, then they're wearing a mask and they're showing all's well, everything is okay, in control, as it's supposed to.
It's scary, isn't it? Because you wonder, we all have that mask, don't we? And, and it's so easy to assume, if you're going through something and you're suffering, it's so easy to, when you go outside and you think everybody else is okay, it's so easy to think that, isn't it? Because you can't see these, painful feelings. I mean, you can't really see feelings, can you? Um,
You
what
can,
anybody's going through.
you can show feelings, but many people don't choose to show their
Exactly.
feelings.
I mean, you can hide, like, if you just see somebody on the street, like, you don't know what they're feeling. It's hard to
Mhm.
know what they're feeling unless they tell you, or
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's very interesting, and the work that you do is so important. So what would you say then to, people listening, like, where do we start with this? Because it's such a huge topic. Like, where do we start?
I would say we start by normalizing mental health issues. So,
Yeah.
not everybody who is going through a mental health issue is clinically ill. So, that discrimination is very important for us to make. Everybody,
Yes.
all of us can use mental health support because there'll be good days in our life and there'll be bad days in our life. Just like we
Yeah.
go to experts when we, like, say, go to a garage and want to see a mechanic because it's like, that person is really good at what they do, or we go to any other specialist for that matter, we can just
Yeah.
go to mental health consultation as a supportive tool. So we do not have to wait till a clinical diagnosis. That's number one. So we normalize it. Number two is
Brilliant.
we scan ourselves, look at what's happening. So key indicators: how is our eating behavior? How is our sleeping behavior? How is our sexual life? How is my work life balance? How am I functioning at workplace? How's my sleep looking like, right? Functionality. Am I able to experience feelings, a range of emotions? Am I able to adapt to the situation better? So, few of such indicators would tell us, oh, looks like things are not okay, or things are amazing, they're great, which is what we want, right? And then if you feel that things are like, say, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, then that's a good time to go to a mental health professional and say, like, listen, I think something is not okay, let's talk about it. And 9 out of 10 times things do work out.
Yeah, no, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Let me just say hi to everyone who's joining. Hi, everybody, thank you for joining. If you have any questions, comments, please let us know. And hi, says Fab Opening. I can't see the name. And Ashish says, very important topic. Thank you very much. And we do actually have a question over on Instagram from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. She says, why do you think so many men find it easier to talk about stress in the gym than in the boardroom?
That's such a good question, Sarah. I love you for asking that question because in gym, they feel everything is non-judgmental, right? It's their gym buddies. They're discussing openly. There is no judgment there. It's a free flow of communication.
Yeah,
But when they're in boardrooms, both men and women, more men because there are more men in the boardroom. We can talk gender diversity there, but more
yeah,
men in the boardroom, and then they are in performance anxiety. They want to now prove that they're a strong person there. The minute they say that I'm under stress, they are under scrutiny because people want to be
yeah.
like, are we sure we want this person to be our GM? He just said he's under stress. Nobody wants to do
Yes,
that,
exactly.
right?
Mm,
So the
yeah,
best bet is you put on a mask and show that pseudo masculinity, and you keep your voice loud and you keep your emotions low and you just sail through the board meeting. I once had a CEO, of course, I wouldn't be taking names, who told me that just before a very critical board meeting, he went to the loo and cried out his emotions because
oh
there
wow,
was so much going on in terms of work politics, in terms of his personal life, his physical health. And that particular day, on a very critical day, just before that important board meeting, he just couldn't keep it all together. He cried out, which was a good thing. He had a catharsis. And that's the day he decided that he needs help. So next day he booked an appointment and came and saw me.
wow, wow. Yeah,
So
no,
what he
definitely.
thinks is not true always. I hope it is, and I wish it is. And I wish that every man out there feels 100% confident entering into those meetings and entering those workspaces. But it doesn't happen so all the time.
No, exactly. No, thank you. And we've just got another comment. Hi, Jamila. She says key indicators are essential. Thank you so much. No, exactly. So I guess the first step then is really it's about self-awareness then,
Mhm.
knowing you know when when something's not right and actually listening to it, because I think it's really easy, isn't it? If we're feeling stressed or we're not feeling okay, it's very easy to think it will get better by itself or it will go away, and not addressing it, just like burying things down and just getting on with things.
Yeah.
um
We do
yeah.
all of us do a little bit of that, but we are forgetting a very crucial point here. A person is always in an environment, right? So as much as it's important to be self-aware, develop that insight, recognize when you need help, all those are really important indicators of or we call protective factors. But another very important aspect is how do people around you help you out? So, are they
Mm,
holding that space where you feel comfortable sharing the emotions? Are they promoting mental health? Are they normalizing taking help? Are they ready to allow the man to bear out their issues out in open without? So a
yeah.
lot of men who come to me, they say that, well, we do not even discuss our issues with a wife or with a sister or daughters, like women in their family, is because they dramatize it and they make it sound like bigger than what it is, and then
Oh,
in turn makes us feel rather guilty for addressing it,
wow.
because now we are not only dealing with what we are dealing with, we are also dealing with their emotional overload.
Wow, that's so
So
interesting, isn't it? We don't want to, yeah, worry, and also we don't want to worry our family maybe as well.
us too. We do bottle up quite a lot for that reason, which is why therapy helps, because it's a non-judgmental setting. You're with
Definitely.
a mental health professional, and you can just speak your heart out. But one cannot be in therapy 24/7, right? So we have to create the space within our society, within our workplaces, within our families, where men feel confident to talk about whatever they're feeling. Like you
Mm.
might have noticed, we haven't had a single question from any men so far.
Oh yeah,
What does
that's
that?
true actually. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. I think women definitely talk about things more, don't we? I mean, that's such a generalization, but I mean, I don't know. Do we actually? I'm not even sure. I think we do.
Most of the women do, and women support each other in a very different way. So if you find a woman colleague and you say, I had a really bad day, she'd be like, do you want to have a coffee? Most probably. Or let's talk it out, or let's catch up later, or something like that. A man goes to another man and says, I'm having a really crazy day. They'd be like, they would either laugh it out, or they'd be like, let's go for drinks, let's go for a smoke. Basically,
Yeah.
it into a fun activity or hit the gym, and then that's
Yeah.
that. Leave it
Yes.
at that. So there's
Yeah.
no addressal of the issue. Even in the men, they do not find a kind of support system amongst other men usually. Now, I'm not generalizing this. I'm just talking about what I've seen, and maybe there would be, I hope there are lots of men out there who are supporting each other, who are holding each other's hand. But again, men do not feel very comfortable talking about their emotions with other men either. Again, the masculinity stereotype kicks in, and it's like, I have to showcase that I'm so nice, everything is okay in my life, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think, if I'm sure there are men watching. If you are, by the way, please feel free to ask us a question. We would love to hear from you. What would you say, maybe, there's a man or somebody who's feeling, there's something not quite right, but they don't want to go to a therapist. They don't want to go, because that can be quite overwhelming as well, can't it? Because it's like, who do I actually go and see? Do I see a
Yeah.
therapist? Do I see a counselor? Do I see a coach? Do I see a psychologist? Do I see there's so many types of mental health professionals
Yeah.
also. Which one do I choose out of that can be quite overwhelming and debilitating in itself. So is there anything they can do for themselves by themselves?
Okay, so there are two parts to these questions. I'll answer first one first.
Sorry, yeah.
Always go to a qualified licensed professional.
Yes.
See, one can do 6 weeks course and call themselves something, right?
Oh,
But to be
yeah.
a licensed professional, you go through a proper program, you're accredited, you have to do professional development. So there's authenticity and validity and reliability in that service, right? So that's my first appeal, that please choose somebody who is licensed. Right. Number two, what can they do for themselves? They can read more about men's mental health. Knowledge gives awareness, and awareness kind of leads to insight, and then insight many a times leads to the help-seeking behavior. So it's important that we develop that insight. Watch podcasts, something that you're doing, which is why
Yeah.
I applaud you on LinkedIn also. That yes, thank you for creating that platform where we can talk about these things and create a support network. So I'm trying very hard to create a support network for executive population within this region so that we can have open conversations and talk about their mental health issues. And I'll be happy for anyone to reach out via LinkedIn. We can have a conversation. If all the time you might not require psychotherapy. You might require something such as executive coaching. Sometimes you might require sort of like a eclectic approach between, say, cognitive behavior therapy and executive coaching, which is what I do many a times when there's not a clinical diagnosis. We can still help out that person through other things. So reach out. We all are connected on LinkedIn. Reach out, and if I'm not able to help you, I can at least refer you to somebody. So important thing here is reach out. Do not sit quietly and mull over it. There's help out there. There's insurance. Almost all clinics in the city accept insurance at Open Minds and Kiani that I work with. We have amazing insurance offerings. So reach out.
Brilliant. So yeah, that's the first step, isn't it? Reaching out, recognizing it, and actually reaching out. Because even if whoever hopefully once you reach out to somebody, as long as they're professionals, they can guide you into, the next step, the next step. So no, that's really useful. Thank you so much for saying that. So is there anything else we should be talking about, Anna, about this topic?
There are 5 things I wanted to talk about today.
Oh, please do. Yes, please do.
The first one is andropause burnout loop. So first of all, what is andropause? We all know about menopause. We all know that during menopause, women go through like a shift in the hormonal balance in the body, and then there are resultant symptoms. So there's a lot of talk about premenopause, perimenopause, menopause itself, but we do not talk much about andropause, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
men also go through cycles of hormones. Testosterone is one of those hormones which is predominantly responsible for it. We see men going through this at 2 stages. One is when they're hitting puberty, so there might be excess testosterone, which can cause certain issues, but we see it more prominently in men who are over 45, 50. We see a midlife drop in testosterone, which causes irritability, muscle mass loss, fatigue, emotional flatness, a sense as if I don't feel like doing anything, right? Or
Yeah,
apathy, emotional bluntness, the
yeah,
vibes where children begin to complain that, you're not the same person as before, you're not having so much fun, so a bit of withdrawal from, activities they used to like before. It can cause erectile dysfunctioning and other kind of sexual issues, which again, nobody talks about. So, and then what happens, it gets labeled as stress or depression or
yeah,
something else, fatigue, but actually something else is going on, right? So we
yeah.
need awareness about that. So that's the first thing I wanted to raise awareness about. Second thing is quiet quitting. Now, over here, I want to talk about workplace toxicity.
Yes,
And I'm
please do.
no hesitance in saying that workplaces are becoming more and more toxic by the day. There's a lot of manipulation, coercive behavior, narcissistic behavior, which is not helping with the productivity, which is not helping with the mental health. It's leading to what we call quiet quitting or quiet deterioration, where men do not talk about it, but they quietly kind of resign in their mind. So they show up for work, but they're not invested in it, right? As if they are collapsing inside, right?
Mm,
And then they hide behind this mask of masculinity, which let them function in that environment, but takes away the joy of working, right? Like if
definitely.
you're doing something which you really enjoy, it makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you, it kind of works towards your worth, right? Self worth, self efficacy. But when you're just showing up and you're pretending to do something, then you're not getting that kind of fulfillment from your work, right? And
Totally.
science talks about dopamine spike, that when we're feeling fulfilled, then the brain releases dopamine, which makes us feel good. But in this case, the only thing that is actually your body producing is cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And excess cortisol then leads to adrenaline fatigue in the body, right? Over a period of time, because your body is constantly in this flight kind of
Yeah,
mode.
yeah.
Right. So that's second thing I wanted to talk about. That when we see everything is okay, the person knows that maybe not. Okay.
No,
Third
yeah.
thing, which
Mm.
I would like to raise awareness on, this whole performance anxiety that men carry with them, or performance and identity crisis, where they begin to measure their self worth only by their income, by their assets, by their title. All this is really important, right? The status is really important, the class is really important, I'm not denying that, but it should not be the only indicator of your self-worth, of your self-efficacy, because when performance dips, then that triggers panic, because oh my god, how can this happen to me? And then the shame about it, that can
Yeah.
really eat the person inside out.
Mm. Oh, attaching their worth to, yeah, what they achieve, definitely.
Right. So do not measure your self-worth by your targets, by your quarterly income, by your investment returns, and so on. These are just aspects of your life. You are way more than that. You're this beautiful, alive, amazing person. And I want you to see that. I want you to feel that, right? And all these things are important, and you're working towards it. And there would be good days, there would be not so good days, but life would go on, right?
Yeah.
That's the third thing. The
Okay.
fourth thing that I wanted to talk about is emotional shutdown reflex. So
Okay.
many men, when they are in a crisis situation, whether it's at home or at work or wherever, they work in extreme. Either they would completely shut down, not showing any emotion, so nobody knows what they really feel about. So they would either walk out of the room, or they would just, stop talking, or they would implode. That implosion actually usually happens after so many times of shutdown, 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 shutdown. And then literally physically they can't take it anymore. And then that anger burst happens, which will be like, what's happening to you? What's wrong with you? You're a very angry person, and so on. So my request to men out there is learn emotional regulation, learn to release your emotion, learn catharsis. That's really, really important, right? Uh,
Brilliant.
and
Yeah.
last, fifth point that I wanted to make today is the provider myth trap. Now, most of men and women are employed gainfully, they're earning their money. But men still have this excessive pressure. And not only men, women also put this pressure on men, where they are meant to be the breadwinner of the family, the head of the family. It's a great feeling because it gives a lot of privilege to men, but it's also a trap, because this provider myth continuously put them into pressure. And this is not just pressure of the men that we see now, it's intergenerational pressure. So this is a pressure which their fathers would have put on them, and then it's a pressure which they would put on their children, their sons. So it kind of carries on and on and on, and we need to do something about it, because it's really
It's
causing a lot
pressure.
of emotional suppression and frustration.
I totally, yeah. I think all of the points you've mentioned are so, so, so important. I mean, it's probably obviously each point. There's so many points to each point that you've mentioned. So I mean, there's so much to know, isn't there? Really, it's quite complex. Um, but no, I think yeah, you've nailed it really. But so okay, but I think it's quite easy to get overwhelmed as well, isn't it? I mean, even
Yes.
then, you've just given five valid points, but it's a lot, isn't it? Like, so I guess still the first step would be to talk about it, would you say?
Talk about it, create a support system around you, surround yourself from people who really care about you.
Yeah.
So,
What if somebody feels so alone and, just feels like there is nobody?
and
I've
that's
worked
why
with
we do
people.
this.
Yeah.
Like, there are hundreds of mental health professionals in the city. Reach out. We can start a support group. We can do so much more. We can help you network,
Yeah.
right? we can reach out to different support systems. So reach out to mental health professionals, talk about your feelings, um,
Yeah.
develop mindfulness based techniques. Like a simple one that you can do is deep breathing. Times
Brilliant.
when you feel overwhelmed, just pretend that you have like this beautiful bouquet of flowers, smell the flowers, and then imagine that you've got these candles of worry, apprehension, fear, anxiety, and
Oh, I
then
love
blow up,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So smell the flowers and blow out the candle. It's
Oh,
a very
brilliant. Oh, I'm going to try that for myself.
it works, but you have to do at least 8 to 12 repetitions of it for it to really have an impact.
Yeah.
It also works on your polyvagal nerve, which means you get better quality sleep, you feel more rested, you feel more alive.
Brilliant. Start small, basically. No, I love those points. We are running out of time. Of course, there's so much more we can talk about. It's such a important topic, and you've mentioned so many valuable insights, but time is has run out. So thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Anamika. Is there anything else you want to say before we go? And how can people find you?
So there are three ways that I can be found. One is through my clinic. So I practice at Open Minds Bersha and Kiani Wellness. Number two, reach out to my website, www.anawell.org. Anawell is Anawell. Ana comes from my name, Anamika. So my short name is Ana. And Anawell in Arabic means I am well. So reach
Oh,
out
brilliant.
to well. And third way to reach out to me is through LinkedIn. I've created a special page called Mental Health Matters UAE. And I would love for you guys to join there, because there we can have these conversations. I'll
Yeah,
be happy to share some insights, some simple tools and techniques, and so on to help you out.
amazing. Thank you so much, Anamika. Can you put all of those links you mentioned on the original post so people can just click on them?
I will do that right
Amazing,
away.
amazing. No, thank you so much. And thank you so much for everybody who's joined us. Please, if you have any questions about what we've spoken about today, please contact Dr. Anamika directly, or you can leave a comment on the post or a question and we will get back to you. But thank you so much, Dr. Anamika. It's been absolutely amazing talking with you today. Really appreciate you coming on and hope to see you soon and see everybody else next week.
See you. Thank you, Jasmine, for again providing the platform. And thank you all of you to attend today's podcast.
Thank you.